Robin Hood has faced a number of foes in his mission to steal from the rich to give to the poor, and one of his most well-known is the Sheriff of Nottingham, a representation of the corrupt forces more interested in lining their own pockets than the welfare of the citizenship. It's certainly satisfying seeing Robin go up against the sheriff and defeat him. Most versions depict him as keeping watch on Nottingham and Sherwood Forest in hopes of finding out where Robin Hood is from orders of Prince John. Like many aspects of the legend of Robin Hood, it's unknown who is exactly the main inspiration for the Sheriff of Nottingham. Logically, someone who served in that position in the county of Nottinghamshire around that time would have been the basis. When King Richard was away fighting in the Crusades, William de Wendenall served as sheriff of both Nottinghamshire and nearby Derbyshire, but it's still largely unknown if he was the direct inspiration. In any case, throughout various pieces of media, the Sheriff of Nottingham has been depicted in different ways. In the 1938 classic, The Adventures of Robin Hood, he mostly plays second fiddle to another Robin Hood enemy, Guy of Gisborne. The sheriff, as played by Melville Cooper, is shown as cowardly, with Basil Rathbone's Guy taking part in most of the action. Nonetheless, he still secretly pulls some strings and proves just as conniving as his superiors in plotting to stop Robin. Another completely different take appeared in Disney's animated version of Robin Hood. Featuring an all-animal cast, the sheriff is a wolf, although there was a point where the artist considered depicting him as a goat. Pat Bertram, a regular actor of westerns and frequent voice in Disney animated movies, brought a different sound to the sheriff by giving him his recognizable Alabama accent, and that certainly brought a fun element to the character. He works alongside Prince John and Sir Hiss to stop Robin Hood, and the movie also emphasizes the deceitful ways he collects taxes from the poor people of Nottingham. He then arrests many of them in the third act, on Prince John's orders, resulting in one notable scene where he fights Friar Tuck. In lighter moments, he gets some very funny interactions with a few bumbling guards. For an older version of the sheriff, we have Robert Shaw's performance in Robin and Marian. Part of the conceit of this film is that the characters are older than in the legend, and that's reflected in the fight scenes. They're tired and slower, suggesting how long they've been battling each other, and we sense the passage of time since their encounters in their younger days. Despite the presence of Sean Connery and Audrey Hepburn, I find this movie is not too well known, and this aspect is one of the reasons it deserves to be seen by more people. One of the more successful Robin Hood movies at the box office was Prince of Thieves, and the highlight is Alan Rickman as the sheriff. He was actually given free rein to rewrite a lot of his dialogue, as Rickman was not particularly fond of how the character was originally written in the script. The result is the sheriff being highly entertaining, with Rickman finding the right way of turning his performance up to 11 without going too overboard. His sheriff relishes in being evil and even threatens to cancel Christmas in the movie's best line.
No more merciful beheadings. And call off Christmas.
Rickman was such a scene stealer in Prince of Thieves, he even won the BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Actor. The sheriff will be portrayed in a sillier light in the Mel Brooks spoof movie Robin Hood Men in Tights. Brilliantly played by Roger Rees, he brought a snooty quality to his portrayal, and he was given a running joke of mixing up words. There's also humor gained from his talks with Prince John and his fights against Robin. Brooks used elements of Rickman's portrayal in the character, including his appearance and his meetings with a witch, but a few things are also borrowed from Guy of Gisborne from the 1938 film. The parody does work whether you've seen those Robin Hood movies or not, and the sheriff proved to be one of several humorous characters to appear in Men in Tights. The Sheriff of Nottingham has primarily played a supporting role in Robin Hood movies, but a screenplay centered entirely around him sparked a bidding war in Hollywood in the mid-2000s. Ethan Reif and Cyrus Voris had written a script titled Nottingham, which presented the legend from the sheriff's point of view and portrayed him more sympathetically. Written in the style of a detective story, the script involved the sheriff trying to solve a series of crimes, with Robin Hood as the main culprit. A love triangle would then develop between the sheriff, Robin, and Maid Marian. This caught the attention of Russell Crowe, who immediately became interested, and then the script was eventually bought by Universal Pictures and Imagine Entertainment. Not long afterwards, Ridley Scott signed on to direct. So you had a studio with a lot of faith in the project and willing to spend a lot of money on buying the script, and a major actor with Russell Crowe, who was a perfect choice to play the Sheriff of Nottingham. What happened? Well, Scott found the screenplay too silly and brought in Brian Helgeland to rewrite the movie to make it more of a traditional Robin Hood film. Fair enough, this is normal in Hollywood. One idea Helgeland added was a reveal that Robin Hood and the sheriff were, in fact, the same person. This eventually went away in later drafts, which also involved the input of other writers like Paul Webb and Tom Stoppard. In the end, the movie became more akin to what Ridley Scott had done with Gladiator, with Crowe playing Robin Hood and the sheriff eventually played by Matthew Macfadyen. I actually don't mind this Robin Hood movie, but it's difficult not to think what could have been, as the original script had such a promising concept. According to Ethan Reif, Universal still owns the rights to the Nottingham screenplay, so it's up to them whether it gets made at some point. But Robin Hood movies have not exactly been box office winners lately, including the Ridley Scott film, so it seems unlikely. Maybe as a streaming series? Another recent Robin Hood movie had Ben Mendelsohn play the Sheriff of Nottingham. To his credit, he was one of the more entertaining parts of an otherwise dull film, and he really chewed the scenery. The filmmakers use this character to make a political commentary as he spouts rhetoric you often hear from populist candidates. Robin Hood and his merry men in this movie also take cues from Occupy Wall Street, which is fitting for those characters. It's a shame the film was not interesting enough to carry these ideas, but I do see what they were going for. Curiously, and probably not too surprisingly, its box office failure seems to have resulted in Hollywood deciding to take a break from Robin Hood for a while. For example, Sony had plans to make a cinematic universe of Robin Hood movies, which appears stuck in development hell. It was announced a few years ago that Ryan the Last Dragon co-director Carlo Lopez Estrada was going to direct a live-action CG remake of Disney's animated Robin Hood, which I admit having a difficult time visualizing. However, Estrada revealed in a later interview that it's not currently in development at the moment. In any case, the Sheriff of Nottingham is certainly a villain who, much like the legendary archer he pursues, has taken on a variety of personalities in various media, and it's easy to see why actors choose to play him by going as over-the-top as possible. See you next time.